Okay, I am just taking off the front bumper here. And I'm going to swap out this front bracket for the aluminum piece that I have. Okay, swapped. That's nice. That's quite the big motor, isn't it? So I'm going ahead and mounting up the driver's side shock towers. Tower, singular. No Loctite needed because this is all going into plastic. So we have a power lead which needs to make its way around next to the servo box and past the ESC and over to our battery leads. I'm just going to go ahead and tuck it down into there. There we go. Behind the motor. And plug it in like that. And then I just need to do some zip tie action. And we'll be good to go on that. Okay, basically we got this little rubber piece here that wraps around all the incoming wires for the receiver, and then it slides down into a slot in the side of the box. So I am just putting in the steering servo wire, which I've bundled. Oops, that wire got away on me. There we go. Everything is tucked in where it should be. So when I close this back up, all the wires are where they need to be. Nothing's got tension on it. And things are bundled up a little better than they were when I opened this, it was just kind of a hodgepodge. And at least the antenna is free and clear of everything. Not that that's going to be a factor. You know, most of the time when you're crawling, you're within 10 to 20 feet of the vehicle, usually even much closer than that. Okay, I think it's time to start working on the axles. Let's have a look at this. This is where all the fun stuff comes in. These are by two different companies. Hopefully they will all go together. Let's go ahead and start with the innermost parts. And what I'm probably going to do is just give you guys a list at some point for those that are interested in what parts I have, where I got them, what I paid for them. These are our steering knuckles. These are going to go in place of these two parts here and here. So basically like that, except this one will be over here where the panhard attaches to. They give us a whole 3 screws. That's kind of an odd number. Well, I guess there's one here, and then one there. And these are brass, so they weigh a hefty amount. And if one was to think these are heavy, these are monsters. Super heavy. May need to do a little work on these, a little filing. And they give us these also for a more realistic appearance. And they don't really weigh much at all, so I wouldn't be putting them on there for weight. But I think they give a nice look. So these basically screw in right on top of these. They don't move, they just sit there. But I don't know how well they're going to be seen through the spokes on the wheel. I mean, they're there. Might as well put them on. Okay, just trying to keep things organized. I'm gonna put some parts in bags. Got tons of these little Ziplocs, and I try to save them. I've got a box full, and they come in very handy at times. For example, these are all of the screws for the linkages, and I may not be putting those on today or even tomorrow. We'll see how far I go. So I just wrote links on the bag, and I can just set that into a parts box over here or tray, and when I get around to it, I know where they are and what they do. I will not be using these. I will be using these. And do they? No, they don't come with the screws. They want us to put them on. Got a handful of parts by this company, Samix. Website www.rcsamix.com. This is a set of hexes that are made out of brass, so they're considerably heavier than these little guys, and they are wider. These are 9mm, so they are, I would say 2 or 3 millimeters wider than the stock ones. That moves the wheels out a teeny bit, gives you a little bit more lateral stability. Every bit counts. So this will go in a spares bag. So I already took off one of the steering knuckles here, or whatever you want to call them, and I'm just taking off the other one now. Everything looks good. I'm not even sure I'm going to bother putting in any extra grease right now. It's greased well. So I think what I'm going to do is just update parts, and I'll leave the grease to do on the next big rebuild. You know, if I go taking this through light, very wet mud, or into water, I'll want to take it apart and clean things anyway, so might as well just do that later. I mean, I might slap a blob of extra grease in there just to help with waterproofing. Maybe put a blob down in there on either side of the bearings, or do it down the pipe. Either way. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to do this upgrade, aside from adding weight, is that this piece here, it may look like it's fairly sturdy. It's kind of I-beamed, but it can flex. And I've seen several videos of the suspension doing exactly that, flexing hard. And so that's why I went with the aluminum upright for the shock mounts, because it has the other end of the panhard that this attaches to here, and then swapping out this for the brass piece. Aside from adding a bunch of weight, it's going to be incredibly strong by comparison to this, getting rid of that flex means that you're getting more out of your servo. So I'm going to go ahead and button this up. And instead of using the screws they provide, I'm going to go ahead and continue to use these. I like that they're black as opposed to the ones they offer. I'm going to hang on to those though. They look like stainless. This adds a nice bit of weight. I would use Loctite, but there's so much thread going into that metal there. I don't think these are ever going to loosen up. Just not a problem. Nope, it is a problem because they bottom out. So I am going to need to use the screws that come with it, which is fine. Let's do a little comparison there. But I'll bet you these are shorter. Yep, about 3 or 4 millimeters. They sure look good. I used a light file and took the paint off this surface here, and probably took a little bit of brass off as well, and now it rotates very smoothly. Before I do that, I'm just gonna run this around in here. Make sure that the grease gets spread about. Okay, well that all fits. Now I need to take that back apart so I can put the axle in. Now that everything fits. Now they do give us a new outer bearing. You need to take the inner bearing out and of the plastic component and put it in. That is one nice thing about, another nice thing about these aluminum parts is that they give us a bigger bearing. It's going to be interesting to press that. There we go. The bearing goes in a lot easier if you use the axle with the outer bearing in place, because it helps keep that big bearing lined up, and it slides in very easily. You don't, otherwise it's very hard to get it in the right position. Putting a little extra bearing grease in there. Well, actually, I don't need to pull this out anyway. I've got the wrong piece. Sorry, sometimes it's hard to talk and do the work at the same time. It's easy to get confused. Let me get these pieces off the work table. They go into long-term storage or eBay. Who knows? Okay, so that's the left, this is our right. I need these bearings. I'm just putting a blob of grease in there on the back side of the bearing that hopefully will prevent water from getting in, or at least water in from that direction. I prepped that part, but I haven't seen how it works either. Yeah, I think it needs to have the paint removed. Now, since this isn't plastic, right here we're going metal into metal. You don't want to tighten down too hard and not be able to move this, so you've kind of got to rely on the Loctite to hold stuff in. So I would recommend using a larger quantity of Loctite than you normally would. This is sturdy hardware. It's 3mm wrench size and very thick screws, and the brass is soft, so you're going to be able to get these out even with a lot of Loctite. So that's what I would recommend, is go heavy on the Loctite. Actually, let's get it through here first and put on some Loctite. Don't need a lot for these either, because these are all solid, so you're not going to collapse anything by tightening it down hard. But definitely put a little Loctite on. Now remember, brass is soft. You could damage threads with these bolts, so don't over tighten stuff. Now they provided us the chrome hardware. I'm going to go ahead and go with that anyway, just leave this. Okay. I was thinking about, sorry to talk to myself, I was thinking about swapping out these two chrome screws here and here with the black ones that come with the kit, just to have it be as, you know, dark as possible. But there's no need. I mean, part of me is just like, do it. But yeah, why not? Why not? Oakley dokley. Thinking, is there anything I need to put back or undo? One thing I want to check is how much thread I've got after going to the wider size, and there's plenty. Okay, good deal. I gotta say the fake brakes look nice. I'm trying to make a decision because I know I'm going to have to open things up later anyway as far as the gearbox goes. I think I'm going to go ahead and save the clutch pads, run it with the stock pads, see how bad they are, you know, do they burn out fast, etc., and go from there. And on the next disassembly, see what happens, because I definitely will be doing that, as I've mentioned before. Off-road vehicles are constantly being taken apart and put together. It's just name of the game.